it's Olivia from Girlybunches, and in this week's video I'm going to be showing you how to do some Bavarian crochet, which I hope you agree is really beautiful. It's a nice traditional form of crochet and it utilises some back post stitches and doing some stitches together, which means you get them up into this nice point here as opposed to these stitches here which are worked separately and make a fan sort of shape. Crocheted this in some double knit cotton with a 4mm hook. And if I just measure this across with my 21 centimetres across, and if you don't do centimetres, that's 8¼ inches. So 7 rounds here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it does eat up quite a lot of yarn. The great thing about this is that the first 2 rounds are independent, and the third and fourth round are continually repeated thereafter. But otherwise I think we should get going and start making some beautiful Bavarian crochet. Starting our square, you need to make either 4 chains or do a magic loop. So if you're more used to crochet, I would suggest using the magic loop method to start off with, but because we're going to be doing quite a lot of stitches into this loop here, and if you're new to crochet, it might be better to start off with a chain circle. So I'm going to start off with that method. I don't normally start this way, I normally do a magic loop, but yeah, if you're more used to crochet, then just I would start with the magic loop. So I'm going to do 4 chains. If I can get this to focus, there's 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we're going to be putting quite a lot of stitches into this, so if you need to, you can go back and add a 5th one. If you're using quite chunky yarn, maybe you might need to. Even I've got some reservations about getting all of these stitches into here, but we're going to give it a go. Anyway, right, so we've got our 4 chains, and I joined that with a slip stitch to make a loop. And now we're going to chain 1, and we're going to do a double crochet into that loop, and you may know that as a single, but I'm British so I call that a double, and there'll be links up here, a terminology video that I've done in case you don't know the difference. Right, now we're going to do 3 chains, 1, 2, 3. Now we're going to do 4 double trebles together. So what that means, if I just get this, as you can see, it sort of comes up into one point here, which all of these stitches are worked into. Okay, so it's not like here where they're spread out, it comes up to one point. So we've got, there's the 3 chains, and there's our 4 double crochets there, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then there's 3 chains there. So the 4 double crochets together, so you're going to wrap the yarn around twice if you've not done a double crochet before. So I've got the yarn wrapped around twice, and I'm going to go into my loop, grab the yarn, grab some more yarn, put it through the first 2 loops, put it through the first 2 loops, and then I'm not going to grab any more yarn, I'm just going to leave those 2 loops on the hook. I'm going to start working my next 3 double trebles in the same way without finishing the last pass of yarn. So there's the first 2 loops and there's the second 2 loops. I'm going to leave that, so I've started 2 double trebles there. I'm going to do that again, and I have got an in-depth video on how to do stitches together if you haven't seen this method before, where I sort of go into more depth about it. And so I'm just getting some more yarn there, so I've got 3. Now I just need to do 1 more double treble, 1, 2. Right, so now what I need to do is I need to finish off all of these stitches by grabbing the yarn over the hook and pulling it through all of those loops that were left there. Now I'm going to do 3 chains, 1, 2, 3, and then I'm going to do a double into my loop. And there is your first petal done. So we need to repeat that 3 more times. So I'll just do that 1 more time. So now we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3. Then I'm going to do my first double treble into the loop, and then not finish the stitch. Do my second double treble, oops, into the loop, and I'll not finish the stitch, and I'll do another one. Sort my yarn out. Okay, and now I just need to do one more double treble, and now I'm going to finish off all of those, so you should have 5 loops there, and I'm going to finish off by putting the yarn over and pulling it through all of those loops there, and then just chaining 3, 1, 2, 3. Now here you're going to find, see, we're running out of space because we do need to put 2 more of these in, but what you just need to do is just gently pull your stitches around. You'll find that you can make quite a lot of room. There you go, see, I've given myself a lot more room there, and now I'm going to just do my double, which you may know as a single, into my loop, and that's my second petal made. So I'm going to do 2 more of those, and just as before I finish off the 4th one, I'll come back. Right, so I've got my last petal almost finished, just need to put the yarn over and put it through all of those loops left on the hook, and do 3 chains, 1, 2, 3, and then this time I'm going to put my hook into that double crochet that we did at the start of the round, just before I did the first 3 chains, and I'm just going to do a slip stitch there. And if you're changing colour yarns, this is where you can fasten off your yarn. So I am changing colours so that I can show you each round, but otherwise you would just continue to work the stitches now. And there we go, there's the beginning of our Bavarian crochet. So I'm going to start my second round now. I'm going to use this yellow. Right, so I'm going to attach my yarn to my hook with a nice slip knot. So that's nice and secure. And you want to maybe start where you left off if it helps you sort of understand where you're going from. But you could just start in any of these double crochets. But I'm going to start where I tied off my yarn last of all. So I'm just going to put my hook into that double crochet where we did our last slip knot, and I'm just going to do another slip knot just to join it in place. So now what we need to do is do 1 chain, and then we're going to do a double crochet into that same space. Right, now we're going to chain 1, and we're going to do our next stitches into the top. I'll just take my hook out. Into the top of that stitch there. So those are all those double trebles together, and that's why we do all those double trebles together, because gives us somewhere to work our next stitches into. And if I just get my sample, what we're going to be doing now is we're going to do 3 lots. So that's 1, 2, 3. Hope you can see that, of 4 double trebles, but we're not going to make them into together this time. We're just going to do them straight. So we've got stitches between them, but I'll get to that. But as you can see, it kind of makes that sort of square shape there. Okay, so that's what we're aiming for. Know what we're aiming for. Okay, so we've done the 1 chain here. So we did a slip stitch, 1 chain, a double crochet into the same space, and now we've just done 1 chain. And now we're going to do some double trebles. So you wrap the yarn around the hook twice, and we're going to go into that top stitch there, and we're just going to work a normal double treble and finish it off properly this time. So we're going to do 3 more of those. All into that same stitch. And we'll 1 more. Okay. Now we need to do 1 chain. And then we need to repeat this into that same space. So 4 more double trebles. And if you're worried that you're distorting this stitch here, that's fine, don't worry, you know, it happens. But that's what we're working into, so don't panic. And it sometimes looks like you're working into the wrong space as well, but you're not. As long as you're working into that top part there, because that's the top of your stitch. So I think you can see why now people call this a wool eater or a yarn eater, or it eats all the yarn, because it takes a lot to get around all of some of these corners. So I just need one more double treble to finish that group. Okay, so we've got one group of 4 with a chain space, another group of 4. So now we're going to do one more chain space and another group of 4 into that space there. So we've gone all the way around there now, and what I need to do is one chain, and then we're going to do one double crochet into the top of that double crochet from the previous round, like so. And then we're going to repeat this onto the end of each of these. Okay, so if you just need to see how to do that again, just quickly rewind back and you'll see how we did that. I'll just show you where we're going to work into. As you can see, that stitch there, which is the top of your trebles together. Okay, so I'll carry on doing this and I shall come back just before I finish my round. There we go, I have finished my 4 corners and I've just need to do one chain, and where we started off I can just do my slip stitch into the top of that double crochet from the start. And again, if you are continuing with the same colour yarn, you wouldn't finish off your yarn here, you would just keep working, but you would do the slip stitch just to join that edge down. So I'm going to cut my yarn now. I think it's easier if I show you each round a different colour, then you can see how the pattern works. So just pull that through, hold it nice and tight. Right, there we go. And that's really cute like it is. You could just use that as a motif, but we've got more to do. Right, now I'm going to go with a pink. And if I show you on my sample here, we are now going to start working this round here, which fills in these gaps here to square this all off, so it gives us some corners to work into and flattens out these edges. So if you are going to continue in the same colour yarn, you could at this point just do some slip stitches along here until you get to this chain space here, because this is where we're going to start the 3rd round, and from here on in the 3rd and 4th rounds are now repeated. So you won't be doing this every time, it's just on this sort of initial start point. If it's easier, just cut the yarn and just start in this place here. So I'm using a different colour yarn, so I'm just going to attach it to my hook, and it's fairly simple to do even if you're using the same yarn. New colour yarn, I'm just going to do a slip stitch, and then I'm going to do one chain, and then you're going to do a double crochet into that same space there. Okay, right, 3 chains to start off with. 1, 2, 3. So here we did double trebles together, and here we're going to do double trebles again together, but this time we're going to do back post stitches. So if you've never done this before, don't panic. It looks tricky. It's not, it's just a little bit different. It's a different way of working the stitch, and it gives you this nice decorative change of colour and stitch here. What it's doing is we're going to work around these posts. So these double trebles are now going to be called posts, just for the purpose of explaining this. And you're going to put your yarn around these posts, and if you're working from the back, what it does is it means the back is raised up and it pushes the top of these stitches forward. So now we've done our 3 chains, and we're going to do double trebles as a back post stitch. So to do this, if it's helpful, just put your finger on those stitches there. Oops, see. Right, 2 loops. I just put my finger on them to stop them slipping off like they just did. And I'm going to put the hook down from the behind, across the front, and down through the back, grab the yarn, I'll do this again, don't worry, and pull it through around the back. So we're working all the stitches around the back, but our new colour is now around the neck of that stitch there. And then you just continue to work the stitch as you would normally do. So yarn over through the first 2 loops, yarn over through the first 2 loops. Now we're doing these as together stitches, so these 4 stitches are going to be crocheted together to give us that point like we had here. Wrap the yarn around the hook. I'm just going to grab hold of those, and I'm going to do this around the next one now, so it might be a bit easier to see. So I'm coming between those stitches from the back, across the front and down the back again. So if I just show you from the back there, I'm going to grab the yarn and pull it through, and I'm working everything around the back post stitch, and then I just continue to work the stitch, and I don't finish it off because we're working these together. I'm going to keep these loops on the hook. I'm going to put the yarn over the hook twice. I'm going to grab it with my finger to stop it slipping off. I'm going to come in from behind, through the front and down around the back again, around this one post here. Grab the yarn and pull it through. I'm going to put it through around the back because this is a back post stitch. Grab the yarn, put it through the first 2 loops, grab the yarn, put it through the first 2 loops, and I'm going to wait because I have to finish these all off at one time. And as you can see, it's pushing the top of those stitches forward and giving us that nice decorative appearance. Okay, right, we've got one more. Don't panic, one more. Right, yarn over the hook twice, through the back, across the front, down the back, grab the yarn, put it through round to the back, and then finish your stitch. Yarn over through the first 2 loops, yarn over through the next 2 loops. Right, now we can finish this stitch off. So we're going to put the yarn over and put it through all of those loops there, and then we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to do a double crochet into that chain space there. Phew, we made it. Okay, right, wasn't too traumatic, was it? Was it? So you've seen this now, and this is what you're going to do for each of these corner or edge corner groups of double trebles. What you're going to do now is we're going to fill in this gap here. So what we did across these 4 stitches, we're going to do across all of the next 8 stitches. So we're going to come down these 4 stitches and then up these 4 stitches, and we're going to put those all together. Okay, so we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3. All of these groups will start with 3 chains. Yarn over the hook twice. I'm just going to put my finger on it so I don't drop my stitches because it's an easy thing to do. From behind, across the front, round the back, grab the yarn, put it through. Keep this hand nice and loose with the yarn, don't hold on to it too tightly or you'll struggle to pull that through. And then we're going to do our double trebles. And we're going to do all of these together, so we're not going to finish this off. So by the time we get over here, we're going to have quite a few stitches. So I'm just going to speed this up ever so slightly, not too much, just so that you can see the progression. But it's the same principle as what I've just shown you. And we're just going to make our way nice and steady across these 4 stitches. And there's my last one. Right, now I'm going to start working these stitches here. So like I say, there's a lot going on in this Bavarian crochet, and yes, it eats all of the yarn. And you know, if you are new to crochet and you think you're getting a bit wobbly, you know, or it's not, you know, your tension's going off a bit, you'll be surprised actually, because when I was doing my sample I thought I was all over the place, but actually, you know, you start finishing off the row and you find that it's all pulling together quite nicely. So don't panic, don't give up too soon. Right, now I'm just going to do my last back post double treble together, and there we go. Right, so what I should have now is 9 loops. So there's the loop from my 3 chains here plus 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Exactly what I expected. Now to finish this off, yarn over, and we're going to pull it through all 9 of those. I'm just going to finish that off with a chain just to round that off. And now we're going to do 3 chains, 1, 2, 3, and we're going to do a double crochet into that 1 chain space there, which gives us our side. Okay, alright, if I just compare that to the sample, you can see that's filled in that gap there. Okay, so into this corner we're going to do exactly what we did here. So I'll just finish this side off so that you've got a complete side. Right, 1, 2, 3. We're going to do our 4 double trebles around the back posts of our double trebles from the previous round. Not finished them off, nearly finished it then. And then the next one. I'm sorry if you can hear drilling. Apparently 10 o'clock at night is appropriate time to start drilling, according to my neighbour. Anyway, right, 1 more. There we go. And then we're just going to finish that group off with a yarn over and pulling it through all of those loops there, and then chain 3, 2, 3 with a double crochet into that 1 chain space. Okay, so you need to repeat this. So you're going to start from here, you're going to repeat that here, and then these corner ones on this group of 4 at the end of the edge here. Okay, I'm going to come back when I get around to here. I'm going to show you how to do the 4th row. Just a quick interlude. I just wanted to point out that you don't work around the double crochet from the previous round. You're just working around your double trebles from the previous round. So don't work around this one, all right? Just thought I'd add that one in. Right, so I have gone all the way around now and done those filling in stitches. My neighbours are still drilling, so apologies again if you can hear that. So I'm just going to do a slip stitch into that double treble that we did at the start of the round. And again, if you're going to continue in the same colour yarn, then you don't need to do what I'm about to do, which is cut my yarn. You can continue from here, but I'm not. Just fasten that off like so. Right then, so I'm going to attach my yarn to my hook, same way with a slip knot. So we're going to put the hook into the top of that double crochet that we just did the slip stitch into. We're going to do another slip stitch, 1 chain, and then a double crochet into that same stitch. And again, that's your landing point for when you get back round to the start again. So we're going to chain 1, 3 lots of the 4 double trebles like we did before. And it's just a question of working those. So they're just normal stitches, not joined together. I think maybe my neighbour's got a mobile dentist or something going on down there. I don't know what's happening down there. Right, so there's my first group of 4 double trebles, and then 1 chain, and then again another group of 4 double trebles. And I think you're getting the idea now that this is exactly the same principle as this second row. Put some more yarn here. So yeah, this is just brilliant for stash busting if you've got a lot of yarn that you need to get rid of. Why would you need to get rid of it? So you can buy more yarn, that's why. Okay, there you go. You can see now, just do my one chain, and then we go into that same space. So we've got one group, second group, third group, and do one chain, and then we're going to do a double crochet into that double crochet there. We're going to work 2 groups of 4 double trebles into that top stitch there, which is the 8 double trebles that we did together as the back post stitches. Right, one chain. First double treble into that top stitch there as normal, and second one, a third one, and a fourth one, and then we're going to do one chain, and then into the same space 4 more double trebles. One more, and then one chain and a double treble into that double treble from the previous round. And now we're making these nice scalloped edges to now work for when we do our 4th row to fill up those gaps that we had here to fill up, but they'll be here. So one more time, one chain, and then 3 lots of 4 double trebles into that top stitch. Now we have fireworks outside. My gosh, it's all going on today. I don't know why there's fireworks. Who knows? I've started, so I'll finish. And then one chain, and then 4 double trebles. And then one chain and 4 more double trebles. Right, so I'm just going to take my yarn out of my hook, out of my yarn. I seem to have split my yarn there, so I'll have to sort that out in a minute. But so that is the principle for the sides. So where you have the 8 double trebles together, where it's just back posts, you would just do into that top stitch there 2 lots of 4 double treble with a chain in between. So it's a chain at the start, chain in between, but the corner ones you have 3 lots of double trebles, which you can see repeated in the pattern. So I'm going to come back when I get round to here, and I'm just going to show you the start of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th round, but is exactly the same as the 3rd round. So I've gone all the way around, and I'm just going to now do my slip stitch into that top of that double treble. Just going to quickly start off the next one. I'm not going to finish off the next one, I just want to start it off so you've got a good idea of how it is similar, or exactly the same to the round 3. Yeah, so you want to put your hook into that chain space on that corner. So you want it to be a corner, you don't want to start off here, you want to start off one of your 3 groups of 4 double trebles, and you want it to be into that first chain space. And just do your slip knot, a chain and a double crochet to get started, and then you want to do 3 chains, 2, 3, and then we're going to do the double trebles back post. So you're going to come in from behind, across the front, down the back, grab the yarn, and then you're going to work the rest of the stitch from behind. So through the first 2 loops, yarn over through the first 2 loops and hold. You don't want to finish that off because we're going to be doing this these stitches together from the back, across the front, down the back, grab the yarn and work your stitch, hold that, yarn over the hook twice, from the back, across the front, down the back, grab the yarn and then work the stitch around the back. As you can see, it's pushing the top of those stitches forward, and you get this nice detail of the new colour yarn contrasting against the yarn that you've got going around on the previous round. So I just, it's just lovely. So done, and I'm going to put the yarn over, pull it through, and now we want 3 chains, and we're going to do a double crochet into that chain space. As you can see, identical to round 3. Okay, so you would do your 8. Don't forget to not work the double treble, and then in this instance you would then have another set of 8 to work because you're expanding it each round. So we only had 1 to do here, and now we've got 1, 2 sides to work into here. 1, 2, and then your corner ones, and then just continue in the same way. Okay, so I hope you have found this tutorial helpful. Sorry it was a long one, but I needed to make sure that I explained everything to you. Otherwise, love this stitch, and it's really pretty, and it's got so much texture to it. It's quite heavy, it does have a lot of yarn to it, but if you wanted to make a lap blanket for someone, cushion covers, all those sort of things, a bag, you could sew this onto some denim and make this into a really lovely bag. Oh, endless choices as usual with crochet. So I hope you found this video helpful. I would love a thumbs up if you did. If you haven't subscribed already, why not hit that subscribe button down below, and if you hit the little bell symbol, you'll get notified when I upload a new video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!